grand motherfucking risings. You are now tuned in to the 48 Laws of Black, and I myself am black. Who, you ask? What black, you ask? Marquise Black. So, with that introduction being made, did you know that 1,700 millionaires are made every single day in America? 1,700, that's crazy, right? Well, guess what? I'm here to let you know that you can be one of those $1 million heirs. Yes, you are the heir to the throne. It's time for you to claim it. Don't shame it. Don't make no excuses. Hey, get down to the nitty gritty and what you need to do. But anyway, my whole purpose of making this video is to just shed some light on a way of thinking that I notice is seldomly taken by a lot of people in today's society. Today, our world is made up of an entire glass. Yes, we live in an invisible dome. You can't get out of it. Why? Because you created it. You created it for yourself. You feel me? And guess what? This glass that we live in contains experiences, and we refer to these experiences as water. These experiences have a flow, you know what I'm saying? They got a flow. They go up and down, depleted, filled, however you want to look at it. Yes, so your experiences are like water in a glass, and you have two options that we know of. You could choose to look at your water in the glass as half full, or you can look at your water in the glass as half empty. However you want to look at it, that's what your reality becomes. So today I spoke with a guy, a very intelligent guy who has some valid points, and he was saying that there may be 1,700 millionaires that are made every day, but what really matters is that nationality. It doesn't matter that 1,700 millionaires are made if they're not black. That was his whole logic behind it. If they are not black, if black men are being shot down in the streets like wild animals, being put on somebody's table to be put in the oven later that night and eaten. He said it doesn't matter if you have Asian people running the salons that are in the black communities. He said it doesn't matter that 1,700 millionaires are made if you have Indian people setting up grocery stores in your neighborhood. And I told him, I feel you, I really do, but what I cannot do is I can't play the self-pity game. I'm gonna tell you this. Too often there are way too many people. Oh my gosh, like a bad accident on the highway. Too often there are way too many people who feel bad for themselves, who play the pity game for themselves, and that's just something I can no longer do. Especially just because we got the same skin color. People love to play the victim. And yes, while there are a lot of millionaires being made that are not black, it doesn't mean that you can't be one of those people. It all depends on how you look at your cup. And I told him, it's not about the nationality. It's about the process. What process are you taking to get to the wealth that you know you deserve? That's what matters. Do you have financial education? Are you educated in that area? And if you are educated in that area, what are you doing to enact it? Are you actually acting on the things that you claim to know? Or are you just sitting there complaining about them? Guess what? If you didn't know, a lot of people are just complaining about their situations. You can change your situation. You have complete control over how you live your life. And I had another guy say, what do you mean by playing the victim? Are you saying that systematic oppression is not a real thing? Are you saying that there is a system out here that doesn't play off the racial inequality that exists today and doesn't want black people to succeed? And I told him, I'm not saying that doesn't exist. I'm not saying, listen, you're always going to have somebody out here that's hating on you. You're always going to have somebody out here that's insecure, that feels like you're better or doing better than them in some way, and that deploys some type of plan to hold you back. That's not blame. That's not victimization. What's victimization is when you say, I can't do such and such because this person is trying to hold me back. Let me give you an example of what I've experienced in my own life. I used to boot cars. For those that don't know, booting cars is when you put this little yellow metal steel boot on a cars and it keeps somebody from driving off with their car when they haven't paid for their parking spot or they got any other type of violation. Well, I used to boot cars in Atlanta, and I used to collect $75 from whoever had the violation, right? So I would get tons of people, all different races, men and women. So I got to experience firsthand the trend that came from each race. And one thing that I noticed, I'm not going to make it about race in this particular instance, but one thing that I did notice is that majority of the people that had to pay their $75 boot, they got mad at me because I booted them for doing what's called an illegal transfer. An illegal transfer is when one person pays for a parking ticket that lasts them 24 hours. They're not there in the parking spot for 24 hours. So what they do is they will sell their ticket to another patron that comes and parks in that same lot just to get their money back. And then that patron will use the ticket as if they had bought it themselves, but they didn't. Or sometimes the person will be calling themselves being nice and giving their ticket away that still has time on it for free to another person who will continue to use it for the remainder of the time period left on the ticket. I hope you get what I'm saying, because I'm not repeating it. So with that's called an illegal transfer. And I'm going to tell you why that's a violation in most city parking lots. Because somebody owns that parking lot. It may be public parking, which means parking for the public, but it's not publicly owned. So with that being said, somebody has to make their money. So if you have a ticket that has 24 hours of valid time on it, let's say if 5 people use that same ticket, that means that 4 people didn't pay to park in that lot, which means the owner of that lot isn't getting paid for their labor. Their labor is the amount of time, energy, and work, blood, sweat, and tears that they put in to acquire that lot. So they need to reap the benefits of it. If you got to understand that from a business perspective. So whenever I boot people and I let them know that they made this violation, they would say, "Oh, you're ruining my day. Like, you're taking hard-earned money out of my pocket. You're ruining my pursuit of happiness." So in this situation, look at me as the insecure, racist, profiling person that wants to hold you back. Look at me in that instance, in this particular situation. And you're just a person out here trying to be happy and make life easier for yourself by not paying for the spot that you're in, which most people in life will do at times. So you could be one of 2 types of people. You can't even see my fingers, look. You could be one of 2 types of people. You could be the type of person that complains and say, "I ruined your pursuit of happiness." Or you could be the person that says, "Okay, I made a mistake. I didn't read the signs. There's a sign at each entrance that says that I cannot do this. There's a sign right in the middle of the lot that says that this is not acceptable. There's a sign right next to the machine where I buy the ticket that says that this is not acceptable. There's a sign actually on the machine right next to where you insert your credit card that says that illegal transfer is not acceptable. And there's even rules on top of the ticket that says no transfer of ticket allowed on the actual ticket that says that this is not acceptable." But it was my own negligence that kept me from realizing that I couldn't accept this ticket in the manner that in which I accepted it. I didn't pay for it. You see what I'm saying? So you got the people that'll complain, and you got the people that will own up to their mistakes and learn from it. The people that complain, they will not learn from their mistakes. They may learn from the booting instance, but they're going to make the same mistake again in another way. Why? Because they blame somebody else for their own negligence. They victimize themselves. They make themselves look innocent, and they don't see an issue with how they handle the situation. With that being said, you can apply that same type of thinking when it comes to people with money. People who don't have money, they always find a way to blame people and victimize themselves for why they don't have it or why they don't have enough of it. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm getting at? So with that being said, I just want to let people know that what you think about grows. What you think about grows. Your thoughts expand. What you focus on expands. It's like a magnifying glass. Like, your mind is like a magnifying glass. And if that's whatever is going on in your life, if that's what you want to put your attention on, that's what you're going to see more of in your life. We create these things for ourselves. So again, I'm not saying that there aren't obstacles out here that everybody has to face in some way, shape, form, or fashion. What I'm saying is complaining about these issues has never made anyone rich. It's never made anyone rich. We got to start changing the way we see things and changing the way we doing things and start being more responsible for what happens in our lives if we want to see the rewards that we want to see. So that was just a quick message I wanted to share with y'all. Don't play the victim in 2019. There's so many ways to get money. In the past, the value used to be in the land. After that, the industrial industry started booming, and that's where the value was. But now, the value isn't in the land. It changes. The value is in the information. And with that being said, I am here to inform you that you can be whatever you want to be in life. You have the power to make that difference. And if you give somebody else that power, you no longer have it, and you can no longer make a difference for yourself. Blaming for somebody else for your situation is giving your power away. Playing the victim is giving your power away. Flex that spiritual muscle. Handle anything you know you got to handle. Be financially liberated. Understand that even when you become financially liberated, that money isn't everything. There is so much more to it. But just like in school, you always going to learn more than one lesson. You're not going to go through a public school year and learn just one thing. But this is one of the things that's going to help you. So, until next time, remember, the glass is half full. It's all about how you look at it. Peace and much love. My name is Marquise Black. Stay tuned.